Dire team ban. Radiant team ban.
Warlock.
Radiant team pick.
Legion Commander.
Crystal Maiden.
Dire team pick. Ten seconds remaining.
Monkey King.
Radiant team ban.
Ah.
Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Oh.
Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Ursa Warrior.
Dire team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Life Stealer.
Radiant team pick.
Vici.
Dire team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Lena.
Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Dire team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. 10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Sand King.
Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Puck!
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Так, конкурс пока все еще продолжается. Это самое важное. Что же, господа, в последний раз команда из СНГ дальше, чем топ-8 турниров НВЛ выходила очень давно. Прошло более 3,5 лет с этого момента. Чемпионат наш пятый интервеншн. Шестой игра.
Virtus.Pro. 6.
Это когда это?
Thank you very much, Paul. That's right, we are live here at the National Palace of the Arts in Kiev, Ukraine, getting ready for our third quarterfinal of the day, Cinder. And one of these teams will be moving in to the top four, have a good shot at going the distance. And VP coming into this tournament as a very strong candidate to get to that Final Four. I think many people did not give Vici Gaming much of a chance, but here they are.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting matchup. I think this will maybe be the hardest challenge that VP has had so far. Not because they didn't have good opponents in the Swiss. Of course they did, but it just seems like the level of play has stepped up a lot here on the main stage. And the last matchup they had looked not too difficult for them. This one, however, I feel like could be harder. But that said, neither of us really like the Lifestealer pick, and it's kind of an integral part of this VGJ lineup. So I'm very curious to see if they can somehow enable this Lifestealer. Mind you, they picked this Lifestealer into 2 lane counters, actually. Legion Commander and Ursa both love having this as an opponent. So I wonder what VGJ are thinking with it.
Yeah, and they seemed like they were a little unsure of a lot of their picks towards the tail end of the draft. It pretty far into reserve time, so of course when you play VP, you know they like to play extremely aggressive, come I'd say 10 to 20 minutes. That's really where VP normally makes their big mark, tries to seize control of the game, and you saw it early on with the picks, so it's not like it should catch Vici Gaming off guard, but still perhaps the actual hero selection threw them off a little bit. But
yeah,
if they can get past that laning stage, I think we both agree, aside from the puck being there's a little bit limited lockdown here for Vici, but aside from that, overall the team fight looks great, the mid game and even late game potential looks fine. It's really specifically that first 10 to 20 minutes where they may struggle.
Yeah, if this one goes actually really late, both teams don't really have the best late game heroes, to be honest. Ursa has a tendency to fall off. I feel like Legion Commander a lot of the time is weaker very late in the game than around the mid game. And then on VGJ, Lifestealer is a lot of also a timing carry, I would call it. Lina, arguably maybe the core that scales best into the late game in this game. That said, though, we need to keep in mind that, of course, the supports play a big role in every game. And in this late game, we do have Lil on the Visage. A lot of people say he's the best Visage in the world. I agree with that. AUI 2000 even said it. He's a candidate himself, so it means a lot coming from him. But let's see how the lanes play out first. So we will have RTK and Fenrir bottom against this Ursa of Ramses. And I actually think this lane matchup for VGJ is pretty all right. Oh, we'll also have a pause.
And that does leave Aggressive in the difficult 1v1 here against the Legion Commander. But if he can do all right, hold his own here, and they potentially have the edge in this bottom lane, then things might actually turn out all right. Although, of course, the X Factor could well be solo on this Crystal Maiden, starting for now in the woods, but I imagine will be roaming a bit once he gets that level 2.
Yeah, I feel like a lot is up to Monkey King in these first 5 minutes. Honestly, just looking across the board, Virtus.Pro with a, I would say, less gank-heavy lineup that we've seen from them in some games. The Visage is a very static support in the beginning. Crystal Maiden can gank, but doesn't really like to gank too much. Would rather spend some of the time in the jungle, get the levels up, like you said, and maybe assist this safe lane. So Monkey King kind of is the one true roaming hero in this game that wants to get something done. He will start bottom. He's being pinged out here by Lil. I'm very curious to see how the laning stage pans out. So we haven't really talked about No One's Puck. I think he is really, really good at the hero, especially in terms of finding farm. Okay, never mind the no aggression here. We're going to go in mid.
Oh, Solo, early initiation. You don't expect to see him to move this quickly. The body blocks are fantastic from No One. Freeze gets completely hemmed in. Death to Solo, who now hits level 2. And, well, I mentioned aggression in the first 10 to 20 minutes. VP say, let's accelerate that a little bit. Already getting hyper-aggressive sub 2 minutes.
To get a trade off bottom, however, Ramses will die to the Monkey King. So I think right now it should be the lane to watch. The 3-on-2 matchup down here with a rotation potential of CM should be able to pull off a lot of aggression down here. Both of the sides, really. I think VP, if you look back on Dota history and a lot of the games, this tri-lane versus tri-lane with Visage always makes for kill lanes. There's always going to be so much damage dealt that you get these big soul assumptions coming out. But so far, VP are not even trying to get their aggression on at bottom.
What a buzzkill. As soon as you start hyping up all the damage, we're going to see, no, we're leaving the lane.
I doubt they're not going to try. It is VP after all. They will definitely be looking to do
They'll
something.
be back for sure.
No one on puck. having a great time so far. Actually, just completely crushing Freeze in mid here. This is a matchup that I think after Puck got the plus damage in the patch, I think 703 or 4, has shifted a lot in Puck's favor.
And does have the null tally advantage right now, and well, bottom lane looks like Solo wraps around now, wants to set up on RTK, does get the initiation. RTK burrowing his way out, but still, there's a Frostbite available. Fenrir tries to turn the tides. It's not going to happen as FY commits into the fight onto Solo, needs to at least get the CM kill. Ramses looking for the follow-up kill. Will he get the Monkey King? Can be an elusive, pesky creature. Does eat quite a bit of soul assumption damage, but winding his way through the trees. Does have the tango and can hop away to safety, so makes it a 1-for-1. Keeping the lane still somewhat stable, but they do lose the core here as RTK goes down.
Pasha is putting on the pressure in the top lane as well. This is expected. Lifestealer doesn't really like this matchup, currently 5 CS behind. Both of them more or less out of region, which makes rotations to this lane really powerful. We'll see if anyone wants to do that, but still.
There's a good ward here if it's Solo who tries to do it, and actually he's going to smoke under that ward. Didn't see any pains coming out.
Oh, not again, Freeze.
So maybe this was not spotted by Vici. Freeze is going to back up. As is it in time? The orb not quite in range for no one. If it were, he may have dove for that kill anyway. But still forcing out the FY rotation.
Exactly. FY comes in toward mid, so it's not all too bad for VP, but obviously would have been a great kill to pick up. Now, no one's Puck, I think, is different from a lot of other players on Puck. I think no one has found a really, really good balance just in general, not necessarily only in this patch, but just whenever he plays this hero, between farming and fighting. He tends to, I feel like a lot of other Puck players tend to fall off quite a bit, whereas no one is doing a generally good job at staying relevant. Nice. Boundless strike here by FY. He's actually possibly going to solo kill Lil here in the bottom lane.
Does Salve, but that attack rage from FY, able to find Lil. One more swing, brings him down. Big pick off there, and a lot of pressure as he continues to hop from tree to tree. Not a whole lot VP can really do to punish him at this stage.
Oh,
he's then going to move on to Solo, who Frostbites. Looks to run FY, though. Really showing the power of the Monkey King as he single-handedly occupies 2 supports and gets a kill out of it. He's doing a lot. And they really need it because the other 2 solo lanes and not going very well. The Lifestealer okay, I suppose, but still, like, you're giving away a free farm off-lane Legion Commander.
Yeah, and this mid matchup gets really dangerous for Freeze once Puck hits level 6, because then he doesn't need CM to set him up anymore. They can just do it the other way around. But ultimately, this kind of lane becomes kind of spammy in a way. Both heroes can push the lane very easily, Orb from Puck and Dragonflight from Lina. So it's very possible Freeze won't be very much in the lane. Just come back to nuke it out and then go jungle. He's actually starting to do that right now on level 5. Already.
Yeah, did grab the raindrops, might help him survive the nuke damage of VP, depending on how they look to gank him.
Bottom.
But he does make the move onto Lil, looking for the follow-up, jumping down from the trees. FY tries to engage, not able to get the follow-up Boundless Strike. A bit low on the mana here, does have the stick charges, is going to pop it, but still in danger. He gets the 2-hero stunned connection follow-up with RTK, but it's a 4-man stack up in the bottom lane as they get their first duel of the game. RTK trapped, likely to go down.
No
and
duel.
Pasha won't get the damage, but will secure the kill.
Very good rotation from him. That's something else we haven't really mentioned. When it comes to this top lane, there's just way more threat with this rotation. Legion can contribute way more by switching lanes than Aggressive can. If he comes down there as Lifestealer, I don't even know if it makes a difference. This hero just isn't good at rotating until a bit later in the game. Probably going to see him rush the armlet after phase. I believe going Midas in this game would be a pretty big mistake.
Guaranteed Midas incoming.
Well, he bought the gloves. I guess this is a good way to keep his options open, but ultimately should end up with an armlet.
I mean, that is one thing, you know, I know you and I were talking about during the draft. Like, RTK got completely banned out. 5 bans directed at him, and then even, you could argue, the Legion Commander pick, maybe a slight block pick, is, you know, he was picked very early in the first phase, and something RTK has run on occasion, so this is really stretching his hero pool, and it used to be a great way to deal with RTK teams back, like, for example, when he played Tidehunter all the time. Teams would just started banning him out early, and sometimes he really, it was Tidehunter and Darkseer, and he would really struggle to have an impact. So VP devoting a lot of attention to him with the rotations early, as well as with the bans. They do go for a smoke here, but they have been scouted by the Dire Scan. Should not be a successful gank, but still giving the Puck free farm. Freeze just rolling back towards this mid lane. Let's see if VP can find the opening. They do have Coil, so even getting slightly out of position could be enough to get this kill.
This looks like it's going to be a bait, but
here comes RTK, but is it going to be time? Gets the Light Striker out, but ends up going down, not able to drop the Laguna in time. Now RTK comes in, he stuns onto the puck, not trying to focus down Solo. He'll leave that for Aggressive. They get the kill. Oh, that's a pretty big, overwhelming odds from the Legion. Can they get the follow-up here? Aggressive looking for Lil on the chase, has to mind that duel as FY jumps down with the Primal Sprain, and now Open Wound still on cooldown for a very long time. It's only level 1. He'll Rage instead. Can RTK get in range for a burrow? This Pasha kill would be sweet.
Oh, wow.
Again with the overwhelming odds. Pasha just laying in the nuke damage. Vici got to scurry back. He's so damn fast. They're going to burrow him, continue this staggered retreat. But RTK in a bit of danger here. They can chase a little further. FY again with the Boundless Strike, but he's low on mana. Has to back away. From the other side comes the Lina back into the fight. Able to zap down Solo. Freeze though, getting hit again. Pasha just so difficult to deal with in these fights as they will engage further, finding the follow-up kill, taking down Freeze. Second time he's died in a fight. Fenrir could well be next. No one not able to quite finish him off. Now the chase on the Lil on the other side. They finally get that pesky Visage, but they cannot seem to kill Pasha or no one, who continue to run roughshod over them in these team fights. As I say that, FY wants to go for it, but he's just a little too far away.
That was such a long fight. I don't even know who came out on top of that one. I even forgot if Ursa was there. I don't think it was.
Are you okay, Sin?
He's sitting in the bottom lane right now. Got a bit of damage into the tower and got some space that he really did need. We were talking about how much emphasis VP have been putting on RTK in this game. I think VGJ were doing the same to Ramses, really targeting him hard early on, identifying that this Ursa is so good against the Lifestealer perhaps that they need to make sure he doesn't have a great game. And the early 2.5 lane bottom, I want to call it, that they ran has definitely slowed him down. So he gets some catch up here at the very least.
I suppose the one good thing for Vici is that even if VP is finding pickoffs, they're not particularly good at taking towers until Visage gets level 6. And Lil, 9.5 minutes in, still only 4.5, so a bit of a slower level 6 by the looks of things. See if he gets a tome soon. But that is going to limit their ability to try and, take towers and secure that positioning around the Roshan pit.
And I think the bigger level 6s are... It's hard to argue that the familiars aren't important, because I feel like it's always such a game-deciding moment for Visage when you get that level 6.
And they have good setup for them too. With
but
the
on
foil.
the opposing team, you have Chaotic Offering and Wukong's Command coming out soon. Wukong's Command actually already online, so Fenrir will be getting the Tome of Knowledge soon, and that will be his level 6. And that's kind of, we were saying VGJ have really good team fight. They just need to get through the laning stage. I feel like they managed. This is good enough for now, I believe.
Well, that could change with no one having grabbed the Helm of Iron Will, completed Veil online, and 500 gold in the bank.
Oh, that makes overwhelming odds hurt. Yeah, real bad.
He already took 3 of them down, about half HP, twice in that previous fight. So imagine if the puck follow-up is there. Not to mention you have a Crystal Maiden ult potentially coming soon, with Solo about to clip 6. So Freezing Field could be on proud display. But it is an interesting choice here from Aggressive. He is going to go straight for the Midas.
As predicted.
Generally, we have seen him go Armlet first usually, and it's RTK who plays a big reader in the off lane. But as the Sand King, I suppose they're really counting on him to be the primary initiator. Speaking of which, he's going to get caught out here at a bad time. He was at 1,400 gold on his way to the Blink, but will be punished in the bottom lane.
Yeah, this matchup is so different now that, I mean, it's not that new anymore with the whole change to the root mechanic, but classically, he would probably survive there.
Crystal Maiden actually feels like a hero after the first couple levels. As Pasha gets pursued here, FY is going to commit the command, and he will Boundless Strike, locking Pasha down. Can Aggressive get the follow-up damage? He's just too tanky, the stinking Legion Commander. So difficult to kill.
He doesn't even have Poor Man, by the way. It's just a regular Stout Shield on Pasha. It could have been even worse.
So tanky as a hero. They are going to smoke now. If they get a big kill here, maybe transition into an objective. Could get RTK very close to the Blink, but a bad fight.
Well, they're
going to equally delay it by a couple minutes. Tough kill, though. Does have the Vlad's complete now. And he's near the Shrine, near the Tier 1 mid.
RTK wants to do this. Nobody else does.
If RTK wants to, you might not. I can't remember the last time I saw RTK shy away from a fight, truth be told. So why so great on the Abaddon, because that hero can afford to take those kinds of risks.
Yeah, I really like seeing VP ban the Abaddon and Omni Knight as the first two. I I feel like both heroes in this patch are exceptionally strong. Seen in a lot of games how big of an impact they can have.
And they just fit his style, especially of that hyper aggression. So things will slow down now, and we basically wait for those next big items. No one 1650 just turbo farming on the puck. So Blink coming soon for him, RTK. About the same towards the Blink progression, but already the Legion Blink grabbed up, so VP really in combat mode. They're going to move towards the Roshan pit. Meanwhile, Pasha showing himself in the mid lane, trying to keep aggressive busy. They do have quite a few wards in the neighborhood of the pit. No one dewarding one of those. But this ain't going to take Ramses too long. No real sign of contest. They are trying to pressure bottom, but Vici not even getting the easy tower push there because Lil is scouting with these familiars, looking to prove the pest for FY. And simultaneously, no one pressuring mid, so VP, a nice spread offense that seems to be securing the Roshan basically all on its own, and Ramses will get it right before FY could potentially sneak in for the steal.
Yeah, they seem to have no idea that was going on. If they knew it, they would have definitely tried to contest. Nice coil.
Coil for FY. No follow-up, though.
Not nice coil.
Intimidation coil.
Yep, puck is still in the game, guys.
That's when you just start chanting, Navi, Navi. Then you
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower has fallen.
More fuel for my fire.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
run. Don't mess with my Sand King, he says, and they will get the Legion kill. Did spend her gold before going down, though, so Pasha's still on his way towards the Shadow Blade as he bought the Claymore in time. Still a pretty farmed Legion, all things considered.
That's a decent kill. I think it's okay to use Golem for this in this type of game. It's not one kill, it's a kill and a save, probably, that Golem ends up securing for them. So, kind of a 2-kill swing, if you will, in that regard.
Radiant's top tower.
Fenrir wants to ward, not gonna happen.
Stun 1, stun 2. Lil's there with the follow-up, goes for the TP. Frostbite's gonna deny that, and Ramses mauls him with the claws. So VP find the punish again, and meanwhile mid lane with the Veil, they quickly move on to RTK, and they devour him too, and this is exactly what you would expect if VP's winning. It's gonna be through that early aggression, constantly taking fight.
Prize.
Isn't a bad in, sometimes even grabbing the Radiance after that.
Tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is under
Away.
attack.
Definitely forced out of their comfort.
The pressure here in mid lane. VGJ have to come back and defend.
I'll take your...
Familiars are there in great position as well. This is a very difficult fight.
Speaking of great position, not FY, so he's gonna TP back. He was in the middle of absolute nowhere.
He's just perched on the trees, chilling.
Wukong's command can still get really scary here, but they do have the familiars to try to find him. I feel like Lil should just try to scout for this all the time with the birds finding the Monkey King. Obviously, not the easiest thing if if FY is standing next to the trees instead of in the trees and just uses Mischief, it's a lot harder for Visage to find him, and then he could still make the play. If he's a tree on top of a tree, I feel like it's pretty much a dead giveaway. In my experience, you get spotted. And of course,
painfully land on your rump in short order.
Do they actually have anything to break trees? They don't really.
What's the one that I was looking at the draft is like they're not really the best at that form of countering Monkey King, but with the familiars, I suppose, really the main tool just to.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified.
They still have it, but it will run out of Ramses soon, so he's going to try to make use of it here to either force an engagement or at least get this tower as a reward. And looks like they will be able to get it VGJ. If they have good timing here, they do!
Oh, they get the Infest Bomb to initiate, but will they have the follow-up damage? They bring him down. Ramses falls, and now Aggressive looking for the follow-up. Boundless Strike is there, locking Solo in position, then pouncing forward from the trees and into Solo. They'll find him too. 2 key kills and looking to make it a third, perhaps, with Pasha hiding for now. Do they have the follow-up stun? Oh, Freeze just not quite ready with the Light Strike array, unfortunately. So, Vici Gaming, excellent timing there and a good hold. The tower still alive mid, though dangerously low, is in deny range, and no one's still split pushing during this time. He was thinking Midas for a little while, but now it seems he's going to go for another combat item as he builds towards the Lincolns.
That was such a good play from VGJ. Absolute perfect timing. On the second when the Aegis expired, they blink stunned him and comboed him down entirely. As you said, tower deniable. I really feel like they should deny.
That's pretty ambitious to leave it at 27 HP.
But like you said, the split push top from no one, almost getting that tower. So next objectives for VP are easy to claim. And with the Shadow Blade of Legion, just any pick should give them the setup they need to get both towers, really. If they find the pick in the Dire jungle, that's easy access for them.
FY did scout Pasha on this deep sojourn into the Dire jungle. He's going to gank the tower bottom. So VP seems like they might want to split push a little bit here in general, and perhaps that's the transition for their game plan. Just wrap as much as possible as FY. Well, he won't find that delicious Legion commander, but he will settle for a Crystal Maiden kill. And Vici's still looking for more with the Infest Bomb. They're going to jump straight onto Ramses, locking him down. Ursa, great against Lifesteal on the 1v1, but when he's got the follow-up stun of RTK, it ain't so simple. Now they commit the rock as Pasha comes in, looking to salvage this fight. Ramses still surviving through it all, takes a follow-up stun from RTK to bring him down. It does make you worry if VP are together, whether or not they can kill that Ursa, but Vici doing a good job at finding these pickoffs.
VP need to try to find a way of involving no one a bit more. I was saying earlier before the game, or early in the game, that no one generally has a really good split between farming and fighting on this puck. Make sure to not fall behind the farm. We're seeing it here. He's pretty much tied with the Lina in terms of CS, but they're just getting a bit outmaneuvered right now from VGJ. No one had cooldown on his TP and was in the top area while his team was in his own jungle. That's just a no-go. It basically leaves you vulnerable for a full minute. It looks like he will be able to get this top tier 2 more than likely, unless he gets scared and backs off. Has coverage from the side. And VGJ, are they really even interested in defending this tower? Freeze is coming in.
Is under attack.
No one's sticking around. He really wants the last hit. He's going to probably have to concede it now. Oh, he's trying for it. This is sneaky from Freeze.
Actually, not really a possible kill on his own, but Freeze going in a bit deeper here. Solo's going to drop the ward, but Freeze is actually bait. Will Solo fall for it? I think as soon as he uses the Frostbite, he's like, this is looking a little sketch. Waits for the team to come in instead, so Pasha will join them. So 2 will lill. And now RTK swing and a miss. He might have brought his own life into trouble too. Goes in for the burrow, completely fails, and now Pasha finally able to win his first real duel of the game. The Crystal Maiden ult gets dropped in a great position. Solo finding lots of damage. They do manage to clean up the CM. So far, a Sand King core for a support CM. Quite a few ultimates expended as FY lunges forward, looking for more. They will back away. The next Roche coming in about 2 minutes, so this top tower could be quite crucial as far as positioning and potential map control, as it will finally drop.
That was a 2-for-1. They did kill the Lina. It's hard to notice when you instant respawn, you know.
Yeah, that's true. So now down to 9 Bloodstone charges. Does have the BOTs.
And I feel like when you watch Lina players right now in this patch, it's very interesting to see. I feel like the level 15 talent tells you a lot about their mentality in the game. There's one element is player preference. The other one is kind of confidence in your expectation of what's going to happen in the game. Choosing respawn time over 50 damage says a lot about what you think is going to happen. You will be dying, and it's going to be important that you come back into the fight rather than, 50 damage will increase your farming speed, or increase your damage output during the fight. He is opting for that.
And especially when you already have a Bloodstone, so you already have a way to respawn faster. In theory, if you're getting a lot of charges, you don't need the talent, but...
Yep.
Reese has not been really finding too many kills this game. Only 2 to his name, 4 deaths. And to be fair, was pressured a bit early, but for the most part, it was a 1v1 mid, and he just got bullied by the puck.
So he's going to be working on the Shadow Blade now, so we have a little bit of a pause. The interesting thing about getting Shadow Blade on Lina here is their ability to catch the puck, because that's something we talked about earlier that their lineup is having a really hard time with, especially now that we have the Lincolns come out for no one. Sand King is going Yules, has it in 200, so that's an alternative way. Blink Yules into stun could work, but it's just the more options the merrier. It gets a lot easier for them to try to find picks with this. And
also another way to break the Lincolns, as well as just kite the Ursa potentially. He is going BKB though. I believe it's actually... No, he just does the Ogre Club, I guess.
Silver Edge is also pretty nice against Ursa.
That's true.
You can't Fury Swipes. It's kind of, if you force a fight and you open on Ursa with the Silver Edge, he's kind of useless, actually. The Hero deals so insignificant damage without Fury Swipes. It's kind of his only real source of having an impact in fights later in the game. So that might be something he's thinking about here. Whenever I see Silver Edge, you obviously always think about, like, what can you break? Often people actually forget the other component of the item, which is the damage reduction. It's kind of...
There's not like that one crazy DPS hero necessarily, though, this game, so...
Oh, they're going to go on RTK. He stuns out immediately.
Quick burrow out, but the duel is there. We're looking for the follow-up. They commit the rock to this. RTK still falls rather early in the fight. Pasha, second win of the game, up to plus 28 damage. Fenrir now on the run.
He's canceled his bots. He can't come in.
Looking for the chase. This is really crumbling quickly for VGJ. They still move on to solo. Wukong's command gets committed. They'll get that solitary kill on the CM. But now they need to get out, and they look to defend high ground potentially if VP want to continue pursuit without a Wukong's command, without a rock. No, VP will back down now. But Roshan guaranteed to be respawning any moment, and basically a gimme for Virtus.Pro.
And this fight will go totally different for VGJ if FY is a little bit closer. He couldn't get in range to cast the Wukong's command when they jumped in on the Sand King. If he was able to do that, Monkey King with Basher is pretty disgusting, and when your damage output from VP is both melee cores, the Legion and the Ursa primarily going in.
Oh, they're gonna smoke up here. They're actually moving towards the pit. They expect VP might be doing it. They're wrong about that, but still confident to go for that smoke with no Wukong's command, with no rock. Just not willing to give up a free Roshan. And
they have a good ward here. They're gonna find Solo again. He's just he has 8 of their 14 kills now.
I think if you're VP, you're fine with that. Sure, it's not ideal the CM's dying, but she is not a big part of the late game plan.
It's definitely a lot better than Chorus dying, and most of Solo's deaths have been giving them pretty crucial information.
Solo's not fine with that, though. It's a hard life for the CM. So Vici don't end up stopping a Roche, but at the same time, no Roche is happening, so they go back to farming now, at least for the moment. Sind, with the action coming to a brief lull, how do you see the long-term game plans developing for both teams? Is there a timer for VP? Can they afford to take this late?
I think they can, but it's under the condition that Visage keeps scaling well. I think they're going to need the damage output of Lil in the late game to really have enough of a punch. As mentioned before, Puck has a tendency to fall off. Of course, it's a bit different now that you can get the GPM talent, but it's just innately the hero doesn't really bring the same damage output later on as Lina does. VP will claim the Roche. As far as timing, I think you use this Aegis to take the 2 towers bottom, and then if you find a good fight somehow, maybe you can go high ground, but it's not a requirement just yet. Oh, Sand King has found the Legion in the middle of nowhere. Pacha is super good. 1 of 5.
Base created for the Roche. They already did, I guess.
Nice.
All about getting them to comfy. No, but obviously not an ideal death. He had a great laning stage. He has kept his farm up well, but or decently well at least, but definitely not having that explosive Legion performance. So things slowed down now. We'll go wait for the Legion to respawn. Do you see the Shadow Blade on Freeze? And like you mentioned, curious to see if it's a Silver Edge, but not right away. Freeze is going to go back for a Shiva's Guard, so very appropriate given his name.
Yeah, it's also just a good armed game. You're against Ursa, you're against Legion. For the same reason, we're going to see Monkey King go into the Solar Crest. I feel like this is not that common after Basher. There's other items that we've seen Monkey King get more, I feel like. In some games, we've seen Monkey King only get Basher and just win because it's pretty good. But this will be a longer game, and there will be more items coming up. And we have been talking a bit about the scaling of this. I think Monkey King is the kind of hero you can't forget about either. Like, as a support, he actually scales exceptionally well.
And especially with a Warlock Sandcade. Yeah. Even Lina, in theory, they could be stunning 3-4 heroes for close to 10 seconds.
Eyes on Ursa.
They're going to start with the Boundless Strike here. They engage onto that Ursa. Ramses, though, holds the BKB, holds the Aegis. Is that the target you really want to initiate on? They're even going to commit the Rock for this. Now RTK wants to get the hell away. The Wukong's command gets dropped in a good position, but the Lina gets focused. Dueled, survives, pumping in the damage. Freeze stays alive through it all. He actually turned this one on its head. Lil's dead. 3 have fallen. VP going to lose 4. They go straight onto the tankiest beefcake of them all. They kill him twice. But they will take the fight. The Puck has to back away, and Sind, I think that just tells the tale of how scary this Vici team fight can be.
Wukong's command with Basher Gaming. Right there, so much control coming out from FY. Still an amazing amount of damage dealt by Aggressive here. His item build, probably very happy about his Midas choice after all now. Has that extra bit of damage going in. No one doing his best to split push here in mid. VGJ don't seem to care too much about it. This is at least a tower. It will probably be Rax without an Ursa buyback here.
Well, they don't have their ult, so in theory, if you can buy back and take a fight, no VP have the lower cooldowns to work with in general, as no one engages onto that Lina. Will drop the coil. Freeze trying to stand his ground, but there is a duel ready, and they deploy that duel in Defender. Already, though, they lost the Rax, even losing 2. Overall, still a victory here for VGJ, who don't lose their tower mid, can now go work on Shrines and have the creep equilibrium advantage. Score 19-16, but the graphs heavily slanting their way.
Yeah, it's the biggest moment of the game, this team fight right here. If they can win these fights into Aegis, it's only going to get easier. Probably going to be some key items picked up here. Let's see, there's the full Solar Crest now on the Monkey King. Warlock has gone for the classic Gloves of Haste into Medallion build. Kind of, you know,
feels bad, man. They're looking for Ramses here.
Happening. Yep. Well,
there is a
possibly
there's a tier 1 there, though. It's a little scary.
If they had a ward, he would have pounced on that. And I think Ramses in this game might have to think about getting an Aghanim Scepter as well. Last fight, good positioning from Pasha to instant purge him, but I don't think he can fully rely on that the whole time. There's just so many stuns. Another pause. Seem to be having some tech issues this game.
Someone's PC can't handle the Monkey King. At least for now. But yeah, Solar Crest is a really good item this game. I mean, you mentioned how good the Basher is offensively. That actually saved the Lina last fight. Monkey King got multiple Basher, I think, on the Ursa and the Legion, who were trying to focus her down. But the Solar Crest could be huge against both of those physical damage dealers. It's just the Puck who's going to reliably be dishing out nuke damage in these fights.
I like the irony of the Virtus.Pro chant during the pause that they cause. It's like, yeah!
That's when they get excited about VP, when VP pause the game.
Nice pause, guys! Woo!
When they enter the stage and, you know, they've got like that beautiful production with the really sexy banner all illuminated and bright. It's like, Navi, Navi.
Oh, well.
What can you say?
People get excited over different things. This is not my favorite part of Dota, but the CIS community love their pauses, apparently.
Wow, why do you hate Russians so much? Why do you hate Ukrainians? And
I don't. It's a possible generalization to draw based on that comment. I think it's very wrong.
It couldn't be more wrong, but I'm trying to stick it to you anyway. So he's back in, Pasha. And perhaps we are going to see the Puck 420 gold a minute talent, as already no one has queued up a Dagon 5. So you could kind of see the direction VP feel the game is headed, where they're not just going to win this with like straight-on team fights, and it is going to be more about finding that nuke damage, finding those pickoffs.
It's one of those games where you where you just feel like one team, in spite of building these small advantages all the time, like Virtus.Pro getting the 2 Aegises, winning their lanes, it always kind of comes down to this big team fight that you have to execute. And their delivery just hasn't really been there. More than anything, earlier on, they were just outnumbered in plays. And at this point, they're starting to play better together as a team, but I feel like a lot of the damage has already been done. The graphs are not awful by any means. It's just 2k gold in experience, but I'm sure you're feeling the same way that this is a VGJ game right now.
Like, if you just throw both teams into a blender and they just all drop all their abilities together, I generally Vici's going to win those fights, right? Like, they have Fatal Bonds, they have Mass AoE, they have tons of ways to control an Ursa. Has the BKB, but still the Rock is a big deal, and the Monkey King Wukong's command with the Basher means he's likely not doing all that much. So yeah, it's definitely feeling like with an even fight, 5v5, Vici will take that, and it's VP who now have to play more of the finesse game.
I feel like the blender description is actually fairly accurate to what has already happened. That's kind of what happened in the bottom fight. All right, we're going to go on the Ursa, and then everyone just cast all your stuff when they come in.
And it worked.
Yep, it worked beautifully for them. They got, what was the outcome of that fight, actually? Was that a 4 for 1 or 5 for 1, counting the Aegis?
Yeah, I think it was like 6 for 1 in the end. Then they ended up losing 2.
Yeah, but
something like that.
You definitely want to trade. You're trading Alina with a Bloodstone, and what was the other hero? Was it the Warlock to get the melee barracks? Easily worth it at that time. Now, VGJ,
and it's and it's not like they don't have other late game threats. We've seen Lina's take over in the late game. Curious to see. He has gone for attack range. I imagine the Fiery Soul perk
absolutely
will be the choice here.
I think Dragon Slave. This is generally a bold statement in Dota, but I think it never gets chosen in competitive over the other one. I don't think I've seen it a single time.
Yeah.
The reason being, it's actually, in theory, the Dragon Slave thing is very good on support Lina, but support Lina doesn't get level 25, so it never really happens.
And if you're going to take that, you probably take the Spell Amp as well, so.
Yeah. It's just so low chance that it will be more impactful than the Fiery Soul stacks.
So Vici are going to group up here top. Look for the push on this tier 1. It's been left standing for quite some time, but now Lifestealer moves onto it. As Aggressive closes in on that Assault Cuirass, so quickly transitioning into a Siege Engine here, and you combine that minus armor on structures with the Lina's long-range DPS, and Vici will be very quick at bringing structures down, but they do find a big pick-off here. In the river, FY loses a mega kill. They double BKB commit for that. Just shows you how much respect they have for the threat of the Warlock Monkey King turnaround in these fights.
If they don't BKB there, that could have been a 2-man blink stun from ROTK with an infested Lifestealer, and they
and then you get off the 2 big ults, and
they could lose the game.
The fight's just over.
It's understandable. Yeah, it's a big kill for them, for sure. Every kill right now is worth a lot of gold for VP. At least, well, what was that? 524. When your Ursa kills a support and gets 524, it's generally a bad time. Oh, it was a 5.
It was a mega kill. Yeah. Still quite good though.
Yeah. AC's finished for Aggressive. He's coming in now. Yes, super farm. You know, we were hating on the Lifestealer pick. He's 8-0. What do you know? If you're good at Dota, it doesn't matter what hero you're playing. Not true, by the way. Do not try this at home.
Yeah, what works for Aggressive will absolutely not work for us.
If you go home to your pubs and you're like, oh, the enemy has Ursa and Legion, perfect. I'm going to pick Lifestealer. This is my time to
Well, I was going to say earlier, like, why doesn't it work in my pubs when we all just throw all our fucking spells at one hero and then we all die and they get, like, the perfect 5-hero combo? Oh, man. Well,
interesting from FY. This is something that I feel like FY and Fenrir do more than any other support duo. They like getting Ethereal Blade on their supports in the mid-late game, and I love this. I think the item is picked up too little on supports. Granted, it is really expensive, so you need to have a good game, but there's been a lot of opportunities in this tournament for supports to scale very well. Ethereal Blade in this game is amazing. Super good against both Ursa and the Legion and the Visage. And FY can be pretty certain that he will make it then. 3k to go. There's a BKB.
And nailed that Sand King to the cross. Tasha drills him. And now they look for the counterplay with that BKB on cooldown, the duel temporarily out of the picture. They walk straight into the pit. They can probably kill this Roche before the duel will be available. And now when you engage into the pit, you engage into the Wukong's command, you engage into the Golem, and they can sit on the high ground here. So Vici, confident they can take this Roche fight, continue to poke and prod at the big rock all around, just The puck slowly chipping on Aggressive, but Aggressive, he's doing quick damage. Pasha still 20 seconds for the duel. They may just have to try and go for an Aegis snipe, but they've gotten someone caught out here. Isolated up to the north is the Visage. Can they turn the fight? They focus on Freeze. They will bring him down early in the fight. FY still yet to drop the Wukong's command. Actually backing away from this fight. Oh, not ideal. Finally, we'll let it go. Only really affecting Lil and the CM, so the support's in danger, but the core standing strong. Still the Roche not dead yet. No one may have to retreat after all is said and done. A very schizophrenic fight from Vici, but they have the hero advantage now, and they can still walk into the pit, take this Aegis, it looks like, while the bottom lane pushes in. Raindrak starting to take chip damage. Will no one go for the big play?
Oh, wait, oh no!
Trying for it, and he gets it too! Snatching the Aegis out from under Vici. They had time there to grab it. They were slow on the draw and decisive, and he punishes them in a big, big way.
Mid lane, they found Pasha, Freeze, no detection.
Oh, sloppy stuff from Vici Gaming, who thought that was just a gimme. They see heroes running, they know they have the advantage, they take their time. Will that turn out to be the game changer?
I think the reason this doesn't get picked up instantly by Lifestealer is that Freeze bought back to get to that fight, and they might have been discussing, should we put it on our Lina instead, no buyback? And they're like, no, just still give it to Lifestealer, okay.
Top lane.
And it's too late, yeah, no one.
Engaging in, has the Aegis, Aggressive. Not much he can do against that Lincoln Sphere.
Oh dear. That's big. Well, that's the third Aegis for Virtus.Pro. This one was a bit harder to get than the other ones, but look at this.
I mean,
they were both running out of the pit together.
That was like...
Oh, he drops Aegis?
Is that Roshan?
What's that?
Where's this guy? I'm so confused now that he's on the top side of the map. Yeah, that was not something that should happen, but that's Dota, man. It's a game of mistakes. So Vici Gaming, I mean, that was a really sloppy fight, Sin, for them overall. Just very late on quite a few of their abilities, seemed indecisive about who to focus. They still take the team fight, or at least break even. They still get the Roche. They give up the Aegis. It does feel like VP are the ones who need the mistakes from Vici more right now.
Yes. The reason that fight got so hard for VGJ was that they didn't get the Wukong's command out. It took a long time for FY to get in a comfortable position and get it out. I believe he got silenced by the puck during it as well when he was trying to cast it the first time. And the type of fights that favor Virtus.Pro are the ones that split up. That's where Ursa can shine, that's where Legion can shine, where the Visage Birds can shine. And they jumped in on Lil as their target. And there was a Laguna Blade for like 100 damage because of Gravekeeper's Cloak going out. So the kill took them a long time to bring down Lil's Visage, and of course Virtus.Pro are going to take advantage of that, get the best possible read on the fight. Now things could get dangerous again here. No one.
A little more poking and prodding from the Fairy Dragon as VP congregate top. Do want to point out, you mentioned the Ethereal Blade. It's still a ways to go until he gets it, but generally the Ghost Scepters fell a little bit out of favor against Ursa because every Ursa was building Diffusal Blade, but we don't see one anywhere in sight for Ramsey, so if he does eventually get this, it could really be huge. It's then really falling on the puck to be able to counter that.
Yeah, he feels like he has to get MKB because of the Solar Crest. That's a big part of the reason this item is so extremely powerful right now. The big buff with the reduced cost.
For that duel.
They found him.
They found Freeze. They punish the Lina. Again, he drops.
No buyback, but don't worry, guys. He's back soon enough. Virtue of Gaben.
Oh, come on.
Virtue of Ice.
Yeah, give credit where credit's due.
Yeah, thanks for Respawn.
Thanks, Bruno.
Frog. Love them.
Here comes Aggressive, marching down the bottom lane and on to no one. Even raging rather early. Doesn't have the backup, though. And he has managed to bait no one in. No one's still waiting for that Lincoln Sphere. Yeah, he's got the Aegis, but if they can pomp him once, they might be able to do it a second time. On the chases, FY. Ooh. Not going to find him. Already no one out and away.
Yeah, nice play from no one. Sends out the orb, but then he blinks right. So Monkey King doesn't get on him.
Yeah, dodges the Boundless Strike, makes it out. And
I just had a thought, David. So
wait, you have those?
Yeah, sometimes. If Warlock wins this game, what do you think Warlock's win rate is with Gloves of Haste?
Like just vanilla Gloves of Haste.
Gloves of Haste. So almost every time a Warlock has Gloves of Haste,
it's because you're getting crushed and you never finish the Midas.
Yeah. I wonder what the win rate is for Warlock with Gloves. It's got to be really, really bad. Maybe Fenrir is looking to bounce it up from 0% to 2% or something like that. He's not finishing the Midas. He just gave up on it entirely. Finishing Crest now into Glimmer.
Still better than MUFC's win rate at TI.
That's rude. Shout out to Winder.
I love you, Winter. Yeah, Vici Gaming off through the jungle on a journey, looking for no one.
That's exactly what they're going to find.
They're going to actually find no one. But he's already out and away. As I say that, though, hasn't TP'd just yet. He's a cheeky bugger. He might be getting punished for this. Sticking around. Huge wraparound.
Aegis is about to expire.
Timing could be awful, and the trap has been sprung. They are going to find that initial stun. Follow-ups there right into Freeze's waiting arms. They get him pre-Aegis.
He might actually get out here. That's the crazy thing. This is playable for him.
Oh, the stun. Not in time. No one off to the north, leading them on a merry chase. But meanwhile, up in the top lane, Pasha starts to chip away here, forces out the glyph, and begins the siege. Vici Gaming need to back him back in a hurry.
No one is a magician on this hero. He is so good at puck.
Space, that is a great space created moment.
Yeah, it's super good. You're like, oh well, at least he lost the Aegis. And he was going to lose it anyway. He just bought a minute, basically, on his own. Mid lane.
They might take the big fight here. Pasha with the BKB dodge, good Yules. And that BKB is fairly low at this point, down to just 6 seconds. So as it wears off, they might have an opportunity to go in a bit deeper. Poking away at Ramses. The chase comes out aggressive with the rage, engaging onto Lil. Visage, isolated, brought down early in the fight. That's a big source of damage removed, and no split push any longer, though. As I say that, no one's already streaking towards top. They should find, who is it? Yet again, it's Solo on the CM. Poor, unfortunate Soul gets focused, should be brought down, but look at no one. He's pushing top. There's still a tier 2 up in the mid lane, so they're going to have to back at least a few and deal with this pesky puck. Continues to prevent any sort of real threat to the high ground. Now the silence. He has been slowed down, though. Can they focus him, kill him off? They will. Big grab for Vici. Well, he delays a tier 2 push, but aggressive marches into beyond godlike territory.
Puck is one of those heroes where even if you're exceptionally good, there's almost always that that moment or two in the game where you mechanically mess up just a little bit, and it's enough to get you killed. I think that was, once again, the moment that no one could have escaped, but you need to be so fast on your fingers and so clutch many moments in a row, and this time it doesn't work out. And that's a big kill for Vici Gaming J, because they can probably force a buyback off this. Full minute on puck. Straight down mid.
The siege engine has rolled in, and that battering ram aggressive begins to move towards high ground. Does get poked at here a bit by Lil. Still, though, very confident to move forward. He will get the initial bash. The follow boundless strike not quite there in time. 4 staff away. Vici Gaming going to reset, but they've got the full complement of abilities. And when you see an Ursa being chased away by Lifestealer, you know you're in trouble. He looks for the turnaround, though. Did he get the timing right? The Wukon's command gets dropped. You don't want to fight here, Ramses. That's a death cage for the bear. Bring him down in a hurry. The stun on no one as he tries to jump away. That's a dieback for the puck. He's out of the picture. He's out for 100 seconds, and what looked great for VP is all falling apart in a hurry as Vici move in again. Aggressive, just able to munch on that bear, brings him down a second time, and now on to Pasha, running in 1 by 1. VP disorganized and punished. The GG is called. Vici Gaming on enemy soil reigns supreme here in game 1. You can't get over the enemy territory. We're in the heart of CIS. This is Virtus.Pro's. This is their home turf, Sins.
Yeah.
But Vici Gaming, this is a veteran team, not phased at all.
No, they had a game plan. They executed it very well. We ended up